We're back for another video. We're just going to cover some construction lines, adding some holes onto a flat plate, and we might look at how to mirror the holes as an option as well. So just a few simple commands. Okay, so we're going to go CAD commands. We're going to do my favorite. I always just find this is handy for practicing. So I'm going to put in my sizes, enter 100, enter. Now you can just right click as an enter as well, as I've done there. And then I can also go straight to create, and I can actually go create part, highlight. I can actually right click again, and now I've created my part. Okay, I haven't changed materials or anything, just making a point over the right click option that can work as an enter. Also, my views, as I keep mentioning the way I set up my icons, top view, I have that at the top. I have them in a certain order so I can always get the views that I expect to see for ease of use. And as discussed, that could all be configured through here, so you get this a bit customized. As far as the right click command as well, through here, preferences, and then we have mouse and keyboard settings. You can actually set your default configuration. I guess a lot of them are based on products that you may already be using from Hexagon or other CAM systems for the way that it works. I leave my default as the Hexagon one, but you can try different settings and see what works for you that might be more comfortable. Okay. All right, so I've got my square part. What I might do is I'm going to use my lines command. Excuse me. A lot of the time I don't need to change this. I guess there is times I certainly draw by segments, but we'll look at that at a later stage. So I'm just going to my line command, parallel, etc. Okay. And I'm going to accept that. And what I'm going to do, sorry, as I made a mistake, we'll do lines. Okay. What I'm actually going to do here, because you see that's snapping to the points. A lot of the time when you select a command, you get different filtering options, etc. pop up here that can make life a bit easier. So I'm actually going to go elements in this case, because then what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight that, and I'm just going to move, let's say 20 mil. I'm going to put my first construction line on there. I can do the same, 20 mil, and you can see it's pretty easy to do. All right, you can either type in a value, I'm just picking the line and then moving it, or type in a value or just move it until you get to where you want. And then I'm going to accept that. We'll zoom that up. And you can see I've now got my construction lines on there. Okay, so now we're going to add some circles. You already know how to put diameters in, so we're going to leave that as it is. I can pick that. All right, next one. Note the use of my right command is how I'm getting through that a bit quicker. Left click, then right click to accept it. Finish that off. Then I'm going to go to create. I'm going to go cut flange. I can pick each one, but in this scenario, I can also just pick the whole lot, and then I've cut that. Okay, so you can see I've got my holes in that part. Now, I can get rid of the construction lines as well if I choose to. So what I can actually do is I could go delete, and I could obviously highlight a line and delete it. Okay, but if I wanted to as well, you'll notice that all my filtering options are on up here. What I could actually do, because might want to delete multiple lines, and this could be any type of profile in theory, but I want to delete just the construction lines, so I'm going to turn all that off, only turn on the construction lines, and then I actually going to select all, because I can't switch a window around those lines because they're the whole way through the drawing. So I'm actually going to go select all. And now you'll see, because I've got the construction lines filter on only, and I've gone select all, I'm now deleting the whole lot in one go. So as you saw, it can be very handy to be always looking at the options that are popping up here, all right, to be able to do the job. All right, it becomes quite important. All right, I can see I'm tilted off a bit more. Again, I have that set a certain way for my top view. But you also remember this view I showed you before, select a face, will actually pull it up as well. All right, so again, can't stress the importance of making the toolbars your own so it's easy to work with. Okay, Now, what I'm going to do here, we're going to actually go undo. We might leave just the circle. What we might actually do, we are going to delete those lines. So again, we're just going to go select all because I've still got my filters on. We go OK. But what I'm actually going to do is turn all them back on so I don't forget later. Okay. And I've been able to delete all the straight lines without deleting the arcs, the circles. And obviously that'll depend on what I select on the filters. Now, what I'm going to show you is to mirror as well and hopefully not make a mess of it. So obviously up here you can select mirror. I find this search bar at the top very handy. I haven't made mirror a favorite, as you can see. I make my main ones a favorite, but we're going to select the mirror command. Okay. Now there is some different options here because it is going to also apply whether you want to move the profile we're going to copy, or whether we're going to copy up and add the extra holes. So be very mindful of what you select here. Okay, but what we can do, let's say one direction. It's telling us select the elements we want to mirror. Okay, so we're going to select that. Go like that. Now any kind of point. So we can probably just pick the center point. We could probably pick any sort of midpoint, but let's say the center point like that. But note this up here. All right, mirror the X or mirror the Y. Now it's a little bit hard to see, but hopefully what you'll see is it's changing direction. That's telling us where those holes are going to go. So there's actually a little line, another arrow in here telling me it's going to mirror, all right, like that. So when we go OK, accept, bang, I've got my two profiles have been added. Now I've got to cut them yet, but you can see how that's going to work. Now I'll cancel that out. I'll actually go undo. What you can also do, let's use the mirror command again. So again, you'll see it's in my list. This is showing my favorites. This is showing my frequent commands. So we'll go mirror. What we're actually going to do, we're going to actually go two locations. We're actually going to select this. We've selected our round profile. Bang, we're going to go across the center. All right. And in this scenario, we're actually, you can do X, Y. We're actually going to go, okay. And what we're going to have, somehow, because I hit twice, I actually mirrored the material as well. So probably not the best move ever. So let's start this again. Okay. And what we're going to do, we're going to go mirror like that. We're going to go two directions. We're only going to select that. I think I selected the whole part before. All right, we're going to go OK. We're going to stick the center point. We don't really need to select an X or Y because we are going to mirror in 4 places, but we're certainly not going to use a Z. And that's why it's important to look at these commands in conjunction with what we're doing down here. Go through that like that. Bang. Now we've got our 4 holes. So I've used the mirror command. You've seen me create construction lines and add the holes. You've seen how I can delete one or multiple construction lines using the filters. You can see how I can mirror a hole, or I can, from one hole, I can mirror the hole around the part. And of course from there, it's cut flange, stretch window. All right, and we've cut that flange again. Now if we wanted to, just for good measure, let's put some blends or radiuses on there. I can do it from here. You'll see it'll pick the corners. All right. All right, and we've added some radiuses onto those corners. All right, bang. Zoom that up. We're finished. Very simple, but a use of the construction, creating the holes and mirroring the holes, etc., and using the delete command with the filters. And as I said, a lot of the commands you select, different filter options will show up here. So it's very important to take that into account, because I think getting used to it, a lot of people don't realize that these functions are appearing up on the top of the screen that work with the command that you're currently in. Cool. Thank you.